Hello Internet, welcome to part 2 of 3 of my Zombies Run review. I bet you're all anxious to see what I thought about the recent update, aren't you? Nobody's playing it, and I guess everybody's just listening to me to wait to hear about it. And now I'm gonna bitch about it. They're game makers, they want feedback, I'll give it to them. A lot of the basic app navigation remains the same, and the only things that they added were a runner's log, which shows you for how long you've been running for a particular mission, as well as how far you went. And the only other thing was a shuffle feature for the music while you're doing the missions. They had a lot of missions that didn't really add or continue on a lot of the story that was presented in the first part of the game, especially with the big cliffhanger that ended Mission 13. Mission 14 begins with a toy run to celebrate how much better the compound has gotten. What starts as a run for the entirety of the compound, including the children, becomes a gopher mission for two people that are looking for role-playing tools, like a beginner's guide, rulebook, pewter figures, and paint. Silly concept, yes, but when you introduce the fact that children are happy and we want to try to make them happier, and you get selfish, it really makes me not like those characters in that moment as well as going on. A lot more acting issues that I picked up. There's a difference between people who say New Canton, which I consider to be the proper pronunciation, at least from the British people, and then the people who don't have a British accent or are trying not to have a British accent pronounce it New Canton, like New Canton. And that doesn't register at all as a regular thing, and it just pokes out as like a needle in my brain. On top of that, people think that acting is pausing in between sentences and taking breaths. I wouldn't have a problem if one character did that, but when all of the characters are trying to have a dramatic moment and they pause like that, it's very jarring and very noticeable that they all went to the same non-existent acting school. There's a lot of interesting developments when it comes to the zombies themselves. You find out that there are running zombies. You find out that they're starting to work together. The game ends, or the current mission pack ends with 300 plus zombies coming out, working together against Able Township with a rocket launcher. You don't hear them talking, but they're just together, like, here, you grab this while I do this, instead of just being a regular mindless hive mind like you're used to in zombie stuff. They've changed it, and that's interesting, and I hope that they take advantage of that. They introduced a couple of new characters, one of which they killed off, and I'm mad at, because it was interesting. It was a dude who did a lot of analysis and statistics in terms of zombie behavior, and then they killed him off 2 missions later, which was just really a waste of a character. And they introduced another guy who was more of had a military background, was a good runner, a good leader. I enjoyed, he felt real, and I would like to see more or hear more of him in the future. You find out that New Canton doesn't like you, and they were going to plan a raid, but the zombies come and they're like, fuck, we're out of here. So that, whatever. And then you also find out that there are a lot of private military companies that are trying to take over different parts of the world. Well, not like take over, but like control, so that when order returns, they can be like, oh look, well, we have all this land and all these people, and it'll probably cause some sort of world war event that will be recognized in the future. So again, story, performance, meh. I did actually find a problem with the radio mode, especially after Mission 22, where everything, where you assume that Able Township, some part of it gets blown up. After you end the mission and you go into radio mode, the radio hosts go on as if nothing happened. And that happens in a lot of other stories where big things happen that are sort of compound-wide, and the radio guys are like, let's talk about trips from the road, and lighthearted stories, and how to prepare a certain food that you might find. And it took me out of it again. The one thing that I liked is just, out of there. And in terms of story contextual things, the whole robot voice of mission completed starting radio mode is very jarring after supposed dramatic events that happen in the game, where you can easily add an extra line of dialogue for the dude in your ears, like, alright, Runner 5, you did all that you could do, why don't you head back to base, your mission's over, just be safe running back, alright, turn on your radio so you have some sort of entertainment. I'll buzz you if any. I'll let you know if there's anything coming your way. It was a poor choice. Another poor choice was ending the building upgrade system that they had established in the first game by not adding levels. There was so much farming that you had to do to get to a particular mission, the last mission actually, and so I leveled my hospital up to level 3, and then I kept leveling it, and I got to level 4, and that was it. Or was it 5? Either way, I kept getting supplies, and I kept upgrading my township, and then I can't level anymore. So I guess that means that my township is perfect. Capping the levels at such a low number when it's implied that you should run more, especially going back to Mr. Ferg's comment about this being an exercise app, if you're supposed to run a lot, the gameplay doesn't reflect frequent uses. It reflects the idea that you will run for this set amount of missions and wait until the next amount of missions comes out. And it has no... If it had some sort of closure within each sort of storyline arc, it would make sense. But it doesn't, and you don't get any sort of advantage by leveling up your township. It's a trope that some games have been using, especially RPGs, for a long time, but an easy way to get around that is to just complete a mission, and upon completing the mission, the one thing that you find upgrades a particular part of the township. Because then it's like 1 + 1 = 2 instead of 1x over y plus, in parentheses, fucking whatever. It's just a longer way to reach the same conclusion. And I'll be honest, it kind of sucks. So the only thing that this update for Zombies Run did for me was give me one character that I'm kind of interested in, and it vilified some others that are supposed to be good guys. In terms of gameplay, it remains the same. They haven't really added any sort of additional unlocks or entertainment. They haven't made radio mode its own thing. If this is an encouragement to go out and exercise, it's not doing a good job of it, as it's so limiting with what you can do within the confines of this world and this game. But thank you all for watching the Mr. Ferg. I hope you're watching. I would like to hear what you think about the second mission pack. And I would like to continue our conversation. That's why I make videos. That's why I try to... I want to talk about this sort of subject with the people out there. That's why I like making videos. I want to talk to people in places that I may never go. If you've been playing another part of the game, let me know. Leave a comment down below or a video response, and we'll go back and forth. Why not? It sounds like it could be fun. And stay tuned, because as soon as the third part of the application comes out, the next story, which I'm going to get for free because I paid for the Kickstarter, I'm going to do a review of that as well, and then we'll end this saga, because I'm only playing what I'm getting for free. I'm not going to pay any more for a subpar game. Hopefully this enlightened you. I'm trying to help you. Don't pick up Zombies Run. Pick up Code Runner. Mr. Ferg, offer remains on the table. I will happily gift you Code Runner so that you can see what it's all about. But that'll do it for me for now. Please stay tuned to the channel. There's more stuff coming. Stay tuned to Soapbox Comedy and subscribe to Soapcast on the iTunes Podcast Network. I'll see you next time. This is Soapbox Mark saying, I'll see you at the apocalypse. This message was approved by the Department of Privacy.